Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer Game Day Procedures for Coaches and Referees Regarding Youth Heading the Ball. U.S. Soccer has instituted rules for heading at ages 10 and younger. These changes to the laws of the game at the younger age levels are aimed to provide protection for those players from head injuries. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer has adopted these changes for the 2016-2017 seasonal year. The purpose of this video presentation is to provide players, coaches, referees, and parents better understanding of how these changes will be implemented on the field during games. The following rules are not optional or up to the decision of coaches or referees to decide. The rules laid out in this presentation are to be implemented with immediate effect per the instructions of Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer for the 2016-2017 season. Players, coaches, and referees alike are expected to apply these rules to all matches path forward. Let's begin with the formal wording of these rules as stated by U.S. Soccer. As part of U.S. Soccer's player safety campaign, players 10 years old and younger are prohibited from heading the ball in practice and in games. To this end, when a player deliberately heads the ball in a game, an indirect free kick should be awarded to the opposing team from the spot of the offense. If the deliberate header occurs in the goal area, the indirect free kick should be taken on the goal line at the point nearest to where the infringement occurred. If a player does not deliberately head the ball, then play should continue. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer has chosen to implement this recommendation for the U11 age groups and younger with immediate effect for the 2016-2017 season. The following slides are being provided to give clarification of some situational scenarios that will inevitably come up during actual matches. First, let's address the age groups. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer has mandated that the heading rule will be in effect for U11 age groups and younger, regardless of the player's actual age. For example, a 10-year-old who turns 11 during the course of their U11 season still may not head the ball. 11-year-old players playing in U12 age groups or older may head the ball. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer does not allow heading in U11 age groups and younger. For U12 and older, there are no changes to the heading rules. There are recommended limitations on heading in practice, but the focus of this presentation is the application of the laws in games that are officiated by referees for U11 age groups and younger. For the sake of simplicity, that is the limit of the focus of this presentation. At U12 and older, there are no changes to the rule. This being said, the obvious question that may come up is, well, what about players younger than 12 years old that are playing up to U12 or older age groups? Well, let's say that a 10-year-old player is playing on a U12 roster. Can that player then head the ball in that U12 match? Well, the answer is no. That player may not head the ball in the U12 match. Further, it is not the referee's responsibility to track younger players playing in age-eligible divisions where the ball may be headed. The coach, parents, and player are all responsible for ensuring that no 10-year-old or younger or any players participating in U11 age groups or younger head the ball. The no heading rules are only to be applied in U11 matches or younger, regardless of the age of the players. The second consideration is when to apply this rule. In U11 and younger, it is when a player deliberately plays the ball with their head. When a player U11 or younger deliberately heads the ball, the resulting infraction will result in an indirect free kick from the spot of the infraction on the field. Play should be immediately halted and an indirect free kick will be awarded to the opposing team. In the case of heading a ball in the penalty area, the formal rules of law 13 apply as they pertain to indirect free kicks. If a defender heads the ball deliberately within their own goal area, or more commonly known as the 6-yard box, the attacking team is awarded an indirect free kick on the edge of the goal area parallel to the spot of the contact. In all other cases, the indirect free kick is awarded at the location where the player headed the ball. If an attacker heads the ball in the opposing goal area, the team awarded the indirect free kick may take the ensuing free kick also on the edge of the goal area parallel to the spot of the contact. A challenging aspect of the enforcement of this rule is going to pertain to misconduct. Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer will apply common sense and tolerance to the application of this new rule. However, in applying that common sense to the situation, we are going to have to provide some specific instructions and recommendations for players, coaches, and officials. For example, let's say that in a U10 game, a player shoots at goal and a non-goalkeeper defender standing on their own goal line heads the ball off the goal line. This being a U10 game, heading is not permitted. An indirect free kick should be awarded to the attacking team at the edge of the goal area parallel to the spot where the ball was headed. That part is fairly simple. However, note that the defender just committed an infraction punishable by free kick to prevent a goal from being scored. Should that defender be sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity? Well, the short answer at this age group is simply no. Deliberate heading of the ball in Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer will not be penalized as misconduct, and therefore, no yellow or red cards are applicable. Let's extend this situation a little further for the sake of understanding. What if one team or a player on one team keeps heading the ball over and over again after you've told them that they cannot? Isn't this persistent infringement? Well, technically, yes, this is persistent infringement. But again, we wish to use this opportunity as a teachable moment, and we wish to avoid giving yellow or red cards to 4th and 5th grade children. The referee and coach and parents should work together to educate the young player and create a safe learning environment free of judgment. Give the coach a chance to teach, give the player an opportunity to learn, and give the referee an opportunity to create trust with the player and coach. Coaches should be allowed the opportunity to correct the situation. It is crucial for player safety that referees, coaches, and parents understand this rule and provide a consistent message to the players. We are all partners in this. Let's work together. One final situation that has been brought up with regard to this rule is that of the use of the advantage clause. Can advantage be played off a deliberate header at U11 and below? Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer recommends that the only time advantage be applied to this is when a player attempts to prevent the ball from entering the goal with a header, but the ball still manages to cross the goal line, resulting in a goal. In this scenario, the goal should stand and the player, coach, and referee should use this moment as an opportunity to explain to the player that what they attempted to do is not allowed. The spirit of this new rule is to protect young players from injury. If a player falls down with a very serious injury during a game, a broken leg for example, but their team has an opportunity to score, we do not play the advantage in that situation. The health of the player trumps everything. This rule has been implemented to protect the health of the players. Therefore, if a U11 or younger player heads the ball, you should make the call if you can in order to reinforce the rule that players at this age level are not allowed to head the ball. Routinely playing advantage in this situation will send a message that we might ignore it if the other team would somehow benefit from the header. And that is not the message that U.S. Soccer and Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer are trying to convey. The rule is in place to stop young players from heading the ball. As a reminder, Referees are instructed to stop the game immediately in the event of a potential head injury. All head injuries should be taken very seriously, and coaches should remove any players from the game who have potentially suffered a head injury for further evaluation. This concludes the presentation. Coaches with questions should contact Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer at 610-238-9966 or our website www.epysa.org. Referees with questions should contact State Youth Referee Administrator, or SYRA, Stan Nagel, or State Director of Instruction, or SDI, Michael Piercy, at the emails included on this page. Thank you for your kind attention to this presentation.